Now, children as young as 11 are being offered pole dancing classes as part of a council-run exercise programme. The activity is being offered to adults and youngsters in Cardiff who say it will promote strength, coordination and agility.
But some parents in the city say the activity is still associated with the sex industry and the classes are therefore inappropriate for children. Well, we're going to discuss this now because here in the studio we've got Alison Hudd, who's owner of Pole People. It's a London-based pole dancing school, and she sees pole dancing as an art form in its own right. And in our Cambridge studio is Lynette Burrows, who's an author on children's rights and a family campaigner. Let's talk to you, Alison, first of all. Is pole dancing just like, I don't know, any other form of physical exercise, just normal, but it is, whether you like it or not, associated in the public mind with the sex industry?
Yeah, well, its origins are in the sex industry, but over the last 4 years, that's how long I've been running Pole People, we've taken it out of the context of a nightclub, and we've replaced it and put it in a gym, a dance studio, and women come to learn to get fit, to have fun, and it's very different. It's an acrobatic art form.
Is it popular?
Really popular, yeah. We have, we have people like yourselves, TV presenters, or school teachers, lawyers, bankers, everyone are taking pole dancing classes to get fit and to have fun. So it is different from where it's come from. It's evolved. We've taken it from something and we've changed it round and made it appropriate for anyone to do, just as a fitness activity.
Any 11-year-old kids?
I don't teach children, but I think actually it's a fantastic idea. In this day and age where we're trying to fight obesity, we're trying to get kids off our sofas, we're trying to get them doing physical activities that are fun. You know, the fact that kids really like it, I think, is a really positive thing. And if we can get over the stigma, then that's a fantastic thing that we should be happy about.
All right, well, let's see what Lynette Burrows thinks of that. Good fun exercise for everyone, including kids. Lynette Burrows, what do you think?
Well, it's all very well saying if we could get rid of the stigma, but you can't remove a stigma that's a couple of 100 years old, actually. It's always been associated with the sex industry, along with go-go dancing and strip-teasing. And they're all exercise. I dare say you could also find an argument for saying that they were good for as an alternative to sitting in front of the television. But it doesn't alter the fact that it belongs to a rather sleazy subculture. And to introduce that to children particularly is to give it a respectability that it doesn't deserve, and it's not within their power to change its image.
All of these people that Alison was talking about are doing it for nothing to do with the sex culture. They're doing it because they find it a good, fun way of exercising. Is that not a way just to change the perception and see it as a form of exercise that people will actually keep going with?
Well, yes, but of course, you can mention all the doctors and teachers and parish priests and all sorts of people who go along to learn it. But so do pole dancers who are going to take their skills into the sex clubs. You can't get away from that. And that's why I think it was rather crass of this county council, particularly to introduce it to children, but also to adults. It gives it a seeming respectability that it hasn't yet earned.
Well, Alison Hudd, what do you say to that? A seeming respectability that you haven't yet earned?
Well, yeah, it's a really respectable thing, and I feel quite offended, actually, that a lady that has never been to a class, I'm not sure, but I doubt it, has never actually seen a pole fitness class, will condemn it. And I'd just like to offer that invitation for people to see what it's about, come and see. And there's nothing, it's this classic thing, once you see it, there's nothing wrong.
Well, she's saying that pole dancers who are going to use it in the sex industry are coming for lessons at institutions like yours. Is that right?
Well, that's something different. Actually, we don't teach people that want to teach it in clubs. If people wanted to learn pole in clubs, they would learn it in a totally different way. We teach it as an acrobatic fitness, and it's totally irrelevant, therefore, for people that would want to go and earn money from it. So.
Lynette Burrows, will you take up the invitation from Alison Hudd to go for a pole dancing lesson and see how it's really taught?
I do go to fitness classes, and the whole succession of fashions in all these kind of things, from kickboxing and all sorts of things, it's just endless, actually, and I no doubt this will go the same way. But it's a bit of a pity that they've put it before the attention of children. That's really my own objection to it. That's ill-founded, I think.
Would you teach an 11-year-old Alison if they came along to you?
Yeah.
Do you have any sort of limitations on who you would teach?
At the moment, we just teach adults. But no, I mean, I'm actually thinking it's a good idea, and it's something that I'm beginning to talk to people about introducing it to younger people to see if there is a way to teach it really safely so that there is no association. And I think that's the important question. How do we get our children fit? How do we get them involved in activities? And how can we teach things that they're going to love and enjoy in a way that is safe and fun?
So just describe then why it is so athletic and such a good form of exercise, because the image, in people's minds is of just kind of dancing sexually around a pole, which doesn't look that athletic.
No. Well, the pole is, it's a pole, and you climb it, you spin around it, you use your upper body strength, you're using your whole body, you're increasing your flexibility, your muscle tone to climb and to get to a stage where you're going upside down. It requires a lot of strength, and it uses the whole body. So, yeah, it can be very athletic.
Let's go back to Lynette Burrows. I know you're having trouble hearing us, but let's try a question to you. What do you say, firstly, to that argument that it is really good physical exercise, and that is very important in this day and age when we're trying to combat obesity, teenagers who are just sitting around watching telly and sitting on the internet, and actually there's nothing inherently sexual about pole dancing. It may be associated with the sex trade, but it's not like striptease. There is nothing intrinsically sexual about it, is there?
Well, yes, there is, because everybody strips every day. Pole dancing is about writhing around a pole. It is a very sexual-looking activity, actually. And no, I think it's extremely unimaginative to say that there's only one sort of exercise that they can come up with, which is one which has been long practiced by whores throughout the ages. I mean, you can say in this day and age, I would remind you, they were also dealing with sex slaves, explosion in sex clubs, all this kind of thing, that's burgeoning too, and we want to keep it and all its connotations as far away from everybody else as possible.
So you would ban it, completely, or just for children?
No. I mean, this is a local authority that's promoting it from the age of 11, and that makes it different. It is just crass, in a word.
OK, well, Lynette Burrows and Alison Hunt, thank you both very much.